Hey everyone, I'm John. This is Blairon. We're students at DeUva College School of Pharmacy. Today we're making a video on the proper techniques of taking a blood pressure screening for the healthy buffalo. Today I'm going to be the patient and Blairon's going to show you the correct ways to take a blood pressure. So go ahead, Blairon.
Alright, first thing you're going to want to do is the patient's going to come in, you're going to want to ask them which arm they prefer. Because you can do it on both. So which arm do you prefer, John?
Right.
So he's going to do the right. Just remember, John, he's going to be rolling his shirt up. Some people, they won't be able to. If it's a thin layer, it should be fine. So we're going to get to it. The first step now with the cuff is you're going to want to use the width of the cuff and measure, and it's got to be at least 40% or over bigger than his bicep or around his arm. Now with the length of it, you're going to want to go at least 80%. If it covers it, it's fine. Because some people are larger, and if it doesn't cover, the blood pressure will not be as accurate. So John's were right. It was 40% and 80% was correct. Now the next thing, I'm going to ask John, what is your normal blood pressure?
I'm not sure.
So John doesn't know. Typically they will know, and then with that being said, let's say someone gives you 150 over 80. You're going to want to go 30 over the systolic. So if John said 150 over 80, I'd go, when I pump up to actually do his measurement, I'd go 30 over. Since John doesn't know, I'm going to have to do a pulse test on him to figure out, I'm gonna put the cuff on him and do the pulse test to figure out when his pulse stops, and that will be the point when I go 30 over. So I'll show you right now. It'll be easier when you see it. Okay. So, right there. Make sure you put it about an inch over his elbow crease, and typically they have signs showing where to put it, but you should put it more towards his thumb side because that's where the artery will be. And just wrap it up nice and tight, but not too tight. Alright, should be good. So now, I'll show you right now, just so you guys know. This is the pulse I'm going to be getting. It's the radial pulse. This one's towards the pinky side, so it's right there. And don't use your thumb when you get the pulse, because your thumb does have a pulse. It might be an accurate reading. Alright. So now I'm going to go up until, and this is what you can do generally with measuring blood pressure. You can either ask the patient, they can hold the meter for you because you're going to be holding a bunch of things at once. They can hold it for you, or you can just place it on the cuff. It's up to you. I prefer the patient holds it, so John, can you hold this for me? Alright, so now I'm getting his pulse. Make sure you feel it first. Once you get his pulse, you're going to want to go until you can't feel it anymore. So I stopped feeling John's at about 140. So I'm going to go 30 over, which is going to go to 170. You always try to go 30 over. So when I actually do his measurement. So now, get the stethoscope. Okay. Now before you actually do the measurements, make sure when you put it, it should be, I can try to show you here, but it should be towards, so this one should be towards your thumb side. So on the elbow crease right there, it should be located. So for John, I'm going towards his thumb side, and that's where you want to place the stethoscope. Make sure it's not touching the cuff, because that could lead to inaccurate readings. And also, just make sure you're not pressing too hard, because that can also mess up the readings. So now I'm going to measure his blood pressure. So I went up to 170 like I said, and now I'm going to slowly go down. The first beat you'll hear that's going to be your systolic. And the last one you hear is going to be your diastolic. Alright, so I got John's. The first one I heard was 128, and the second I heard is 88. So now you're done measuring his blood pressure. You can remove it for him, or he removed it for himself. And then typically, maybe the patient might have some questions. Just remember, P1s, if they have any questions, you can go to refer to P2 to P4s or pharmacists themselves for any questions, since P1s cannot counsel. The setting we're going to be in, we're usually going to be a mall, maybe like a market. People are going to be moving around. They could be drinking coffee, which could affect blood pressure. And this might increase their blood pressure, so you can, if it's typically a lot higher than they usually have it, you can just let them know. P2s and P4s, counsel them. And that is the end of the tutorial. Thanks for watching. I hope this was helpful.